Hi everybody, it's Claire with day 14 of the advent calendar from Art by Marlene. So today again we got another little paper pad, and this one that I've just pulled out I thought would be perfect for using as a starting point for a background which will just be the actual page. Does that make sense? So there's not really a focal point on it, it's just going to be using this as inspiration. So I'm going to, first of all, I've put gesso on the page obviously first, then I am extending the design on the pad out onto my page. So picking out some of the points that sort of jump out first and just growing those outwards. So then I'm mixing some colours to kind of match what's there and just painting out into the page so that it continues. This is a really fun thing to do, and it can be a great way to get started. It's a great way to get rid of the blank page. Means you don't have to initially do any thinking yourself because you're working from the inspiration of what's already there, and then you can kind of add more elements as you go along. So doing each little bit as I go, drying some pieces in between, and basically just looking at the colours that are there and the patterns and how it's been put on, and sort of, I don't know, just playing really and having a bit of fun. So there you notice I've mixed two colours. I used blackberry and I also used permanent red violet light from Amsterdam acrylic, and the red colour at the top I used ruby, and I also used a bit of the permanent red violet light because it was more of a pinky red. Yeah, so, and then here I'm just going a bit off grid. I'm using this blue, which is also, you can see it is on the page, on the little square of paper. And then this bit here I felt looked a bit watery, so I thought, well, I'll just like spritz some water on it and let it drip down, and then I'll bring the blue. And I was going to think, like, why did I do all those dots? I could have done those after. I was going to paint round them, and then I thought I can't be bothered, so I painted over the top. So all the time I'm just looking at what's there and kind of building out the background so that it works with what is already on that little square of paper that came in the advent calendar today. Mixing colours all the time, just having a bit of fun really, and just playing with the colours and trying to make my page match. Then I decided I would draw another one of these cool flowers, and I think just sort of starting to think about how I can make the page a bit more interesting, using this as the inspiration. So if you've never had a go at this, this is a really fun thing to do, and it's, like I say, it's a great way to just have a bit of fun and let loose and play. And because you notice there I had a bit too much paint blob out, because I've got gesso on the background, it was easy to wipe away. It's not a problem. If the page hadn't been gessoed, that would have been less easy to fix. In real time, this probably took me about 45 minutes to do. Obviously it is sped up a little bit, and of course there's a bit of tea drinking going on there as well. It's got to be done. I can't art journal without a cup of tea. And does that make me very British? I don't know, it must do. I don't know. I do love a cup of tea. I do drink a lot of tea. And then I got to a point with the page where I started to think, it's nice and I like it, but it isn't quite colourful enough. And you know that I do like a lot of bright colours. And unfortunately the video stopped filming, and I was so annoyed. I got to the end and it had stopped, and I hadn't realised. So there is part of the end of this video missing, but I have put some photos at the end so that you can kind of see where I've added extra elements of colour. And when I did add the extra colour in, I used my finger to blend those colours into what was already there to make it kind of more a smoother blend really. But all the time I was looking at what was on this little piece of paper that came from the small collage pack, and looking at the colours and the patterns and the shapes, and just trying to extend that out onto the page. So now I'm going around these little green blobs. Again, I should have done the background first and then put the green blobs on top, but you know, never mind, it doesn't matter. It still worked. So you can't really see on the video, but there are some little green circles on the little piece of paper. And there on the left, I was just blending out that paint. So as I was working down the page, I was adding in more and more water so that the paint would kind of gradually blend away. And actually looking at it now, that little piece of paper is starting to disappear, which is quite exciting because it means I've probably mixed the colours quite right. So then I wanted to add a bit more colour in, so I started using some Posca pens to bring in a bit more colour too, and some more marks. This is where I started like kind of going off grid and doing my own thing. So I had this as a great starting point, this really fun background with all these colours. So then, like I say, it was bringing out the Posca pens, adding in a bit of fluorescent colour just to brighten some of the colour a little bit too. And then, I'm afraid the videoing stopped. I then used some dyes that came in the earlier days and added some more flowers onto the page. So you can see here there's 2 of these flowers, and I copied the stems from the one that was already there on the little piece of paper. I added some more dyes at the top and added some rainbow pops of colour in there. And then you notice at the bottom I've added some green over the top of the blue, a bit of yellow on the orange and orange on the yellow, just to brighten everything up. So there we go, day 14. Thanks for watching. Come back again tomorrow to see what we do tomorrow.